Greetings. How's everybody doing? Just a few quick things here. Wanted to give people a little update. This Friday, this Friday, which is this Friday is March 29th, 2019. This Friday we are going to have another conference call about the David Crowley case. We are inviting the good people, the researchers, people who are taking this seriously to join us to participate, to ask questions, to give your own thoughts, to share your own views. And I think this will just be a good time for us real researchers to just kind of, have a nice little chat, see where everything is at. Maybe we'll have some more updates by then as far as the private investigator. Um, but I'm looking forward to those updates. No rush, no pressure. Take all the time that you need. Find whatever you need to find. Go wherever you need to go. I don't want to rush that at all. I just want to let everybody know that this Friday we will be having another conference call. This is an audio conference call. I'm not sure about the video. Maybe one day we'll get there, but I think for now audio is good. Um, and so that's going to be on freeconferencecall.com. I will have the link and all the different ways that you can access it. I will have that in the description after this video. So I'm hoping everybody can join us. It's always good when we get just differing views, a lot of different people always jump on, and we make sure nobody's doing any cyberbullying or anything like that. But we just go wherever we need to go. Sorry, I'm just messing around here. Let's see. So we got that. One of the questions that I had, maybe somebody has their own views on this, based on the 911 calls, right? So we know that Judy made a 911 call and Colin made a 911 call. We're trying to figure out the timeline, who called first, who called second. So in trying to figure that out, I was hoping maybe somebody, if you have any thoughts on that, any ideas on that, of it. I mean, it would make more sense that Judy calls and then Colin Prochnow calls from Lorraine Tuppy's house, and that's why the two didn't know that the other was calling. But it'd be nice to get kind of a timeline, because going through the 911 calls and trying to write for the book, trying to write almost like a timeline, I guess, of who called first, who said what is happening during this time. It's kind of hard when I have two police reports and neither of them give an exact time of when they called 911. Sorry, the paper's probably messing up this microphone here. And one sec, I'm gonna let my cat in. Come on. It's very feisty today for some reason. Okay, sorry about that. So, hope everybody can join us if you want to join. If you can't join us Friday and you still have some questions about the David Crowley case, or you have a point that you'd like to make, let me know, and then that way we'll have maybe Catherine read it, maybe Dan read it, if you guys have something that you do want to share with the fellow researchers, with the real researchers. Again, just to say that doesn't mean that we all agree on everything, or we're all, on this one team or whatever, but I think the fact that we have a lot of different individuals looking at this is a great thing. Looking at it from different points too. So, just wanted to cover that. As far as anything else, I've been looking at this book here. This is The Russian Hoax. I don't know if any of you have read this. If you haven't, it's a really good read. I would recommend this book to anybody. This book here, regardless of your views on Donald Trump, and I know they can be very spirited views, definitely, sure, and everybody is entitled to have their own thoughts on it and believe whatever they want. But this book here, The Russian Hoax, really catches the deep state, whatever you want to call them, the global government, whatever it is, whatever this group is, it really catches them with their pants down. And Greg Jarrett does a great job of going and explaining step by step, and just sources. There's so many sources in this book. And again, these are the books that need to be written. This is the stuff. This is the way you handle this type of investigation, is through a book like this. The way that Greg Jarrett wrote this book, that's how you want to do it, because that just shows where this person lied, where this corruption came from, and it lets the reader really come to their own conclusion with it. Hey, Catherine, what's going on? Thanks for joining us. I wonder if I can see. Okay, I can't see this chat. Cool. All right. So Catherine will be there too. She'll be there on this Friday, and Dan Hannon will be there, and I hope the rest of you can also join us and discuss this very important case, getting back to the David Crowley case, because it really has reached so many people and touched so many people in many different ways. And I do believe there is something very mysterious about this case. I guess maybe that's the right word, but all of the things that we know still have not led us to, at least for me, have not led me to put all of the puzzle pieces in place. There's still so much more. And I don't understand, again, how anybody could just look at all of this data and just totally think that David Crowley is guilty, and so early and so quickly, before anything was done, before any of the tests were done. One thing from the last conference call, we were talking about when the police started accusing David. It's important to note that that was within 24 hours. It wasn't even 24 hours, and David was already being accused of a double murder suicide, and his autopsy hadn't even been started yet. It didn't even start yet. So that's odd. Hopefully we'll talk about some of the pages. Some of page 60 through 68. I would love to go through those. I think those are going to be some of the most important pages of the 94-page report, 94-page police report. Everybody should have this by now. The autopsies, the police reports, all of these documents. I print them out. I print everything out first. But page 60 through 68 are some very important pages, and some very frustrating pages, only because who's mentioned, who's not mentioned, who's talked to, who's not talked to. They give dates, they give ages and heights and all this stuff for certain people, and then other people that are mentioned in the same 9 pages are not even really talked about, or just kind of skimmed over. So it's one of the only mentions of Kate Crowley, and I would encourage everybody to read page 60 through 68 of the 94 pages. I know you have, I'm sure you have many, many times. What I'm finding is the more that I keep going back and rereading, I find a little more pieces to this puzzle here. So, not sure how I went from the Russian hoax into that, but another topic in the future that I would like to talk about would also be Sandy Hook, because I don't know anything about it, and I would love to do a show with Dan and with Catherine, and even with my friend Walter Bradley too. And maybe if some other people want to join us as well, that would be great. And I would love to approach that show as someone who just wants to learn about Sandy Hook, doesn't know anything about Sandy Hook, and who hasn't had the time to really research some of the different things about Sandy Hook. I know very, very few things about that, and I know that's another touchy subject too. When you're talking about a hoax, it is a very touchy thing, and there's no reason why it shouldn't be, because it is. It's a serious thing. So I'd like to talk about it, and I'd like to learn about it and kind of try to form some type of view on it, if possible, if I can wrap my head around all these different things and all these different theories that we're hearing in the suicides, all the different suicides. Hey, Butterfly, what's going on? How you doing? We're just talking about hey, Lori. Good to see you. Good to see you all. But we're just kind of talking about the David Crowley case. I went off into for some reason I started talking about the Russian hoax with Greg Jarrett, which I do believe everybody should read, into Sandy Hook, and then kind of circling back, trying to make sure that everybody gets enough time to join us for this conference call that will be this Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific time, Pacific Standard Time. I don't know, at 6 p.m. Pacific time. We will go live hopefully for 2 hours, maybe longer. I think most of our conference calls, we've only done like four of them now, but they go pretty long, and especially if it's on a Friday or Saturday because I don't have to work the next day, so get a little more time. But there will be a chat as well, so if people want to join into the chat, they can do that. And if anybody has some questions, anything that you want to say, if you would like to have a written statement that we'll have Catherine read live during this show, send those to me, send them to her. Probably send them, well, it doesn't matter. Send them to whoever. But we will try to cover as many topics, as many subtopics, whatever you want to call it, as many as we can about this case. It's an interesting case. It's fascinating. It's not entertainment, but it's there's just so many different variables, so many different levels of this case. So I'm always interested in hearing people's views on it. And like I said, we want the good people. We want the real researchers. We want the people who are really asking questions, the people who really care about getting to the truth of this case, and the simple people that understand that there's something wrong here, regardless of what you think happened, or even if you're not ready to come to any type of view, there is something wrong here. Let's see. Angela, what time on Friday? This will be at 6 p.m. on Friday on the West Coast Pacific time. I think Central is 2 hours ahead. East Coast is 3 hours ahead. So, but we'll try to give everybody enough time and keep talking about this. And I think also the other thing is how you're going to join. There's a couple different ways. You can join us by phone. You can call in. You can call in through. You can call in online as well, or you can go to the link. If you click on the link that I will put out, I'll put that in the description of this video. If you click on that link, it'll take you right there. You'll be able to listen. You go on Google, press on this link. You can listen. You can join in. If you have a microphone, if you have speakers, might be good to test all that stuff first, and maybe we'll have some tests later on in this week, because I know in the past other people have been frustrated. They've wanted to join, but their audio source didn't work, or they had some other issues with some technical issues, which we always have. I haven't gone through one of these conference calls where my call didn't get dropped or this or that happened, and some of that happens if you're using a free program like freeconferencecall.com. That can happen, but I've been happy with it. The quality is not that great, especially when I use it on my phone. The quality works a lot better if you have a headset and if you can access it through your computer. I will try to mute everybody as much as I can. If I do that, I hope that if I mute you, that you still have the ability to unmute yourself. From time to time, if I have you on mute, if I've done it, and if I see no activity, I might unmute you just to see if the background noise that I was getting, if I'm still getting it. So we'll be on top of that. As always, not going to put up with any drama or any of that stuff. This is, again, just for real researchers, people that are passionate. And I know we have a lot of passionate people out there, a lot of them. I know we have a lot of them, and I know a lot of them are still kind of silent. And I think as time goes on, more starting to get more vocal, starting to be more comfortable in talking about this case in a public forum, because it isn't easy, because it is a very sensitive subject. It's a touchy topic for everybody. I think everybody knows somebody who has served our country, and if you don't know somebody, you probably know somebody who knows somebody who has served our country. So a lot of people know about people who have gone through PTSD, which I don't think David went through. I don't see any proof of that. I think it's a serious allegation to say that and not back it up and not have proof. So, I don't do that. Especially after David Crowley's friend, another soldier, a guy that David Crowley grew up with, named Mitch Heil. Mitch Heil said that no, there's no. David did not have PTSD. Now, Mitch Heil will tell you that the Gray State killed David Crowley, but at least he admits David did not have PTSD. uh, all of these different things, right? And so I know we have a lot of different people with a lot of views, and I just hope that we can all just kind of come together and just chat about it and share our views. And we got so much work, so much work to do here. So um, this to all the researchers out there. So some of the other things, and also topics. Yeah, come on, get it. You got it. Some of the topics. If you guys have topics, if you have some topics that you would like us to cover, let us know that too. I'd love to. Yeah, I'd love to make sure that any questions or any focus, because there's so much of this case. There's so much of this case that we can't cover it all. Even in the conference calls that we've had, even in the thousands of videos that I've made on it, we can't cover everything. So it's hard to stay on point, and I think as we try to stay on point, it kind of the whole narrative kind of builds itself. But we just go where it takes us. So yeah, it's there. It's good. It's a good quality. That's all I'll say. I'll leave it at that. But that's what happens after a hard day's work, sitting in traffic. You know. And that was the other thing that I was thinking about is I know a lot of people would love to dig deeper. They just don't have time. We don't have a lot of time. How much time can I possibly dedicate to this? And so that's what makes it a little frustrating when you look at how much time the police who got paid, how the authorities who got paid, how much time did they put into this? And then how much time did all of these friends and these families put into to looking into what really happened here? Or did they just buy it? Did they just, and that to me, I find that it's hard to believe that the family just bought it hook, line, and sinker. So, uh, I think I mentioned Sandy Hook and the Russian hoax because there is the other theory that this is all one big hoax and that David Crowley is still out there somewhere and they faked his death and whatever, some type of secret op, which I don't know. I mean, I can't prove that it's not true, but I can only look at the evidence that would prove that it is true, and I don't know. I don't really see it, but I'm trying to keep an open mind to it. So, because you just never know. You never know with this stuff, especially with everything that's going on. This was a crucial time too when David was working on this movie that turned into a TV series that was then going to help him create the movie version. It still sounds like in the end the movie was really David's baby. The TV series was kind of like going to lead him there, kind of like how 2024 had a TV series. I've never seen it, but yeah, they had a TV series that turned into a movie. I think X Files did that too a couple times. So that stuff happens. But uh, yes. How can I help you? She's she's just something else. So what else did I want to cover here? I think that was about it, really. Um, I'd have to pick her up. I don't know if I can. She's shy. Her hair gets everywhere too. What else? I don't know if there was anything else. Just going back and rereading all of the 94 pages, I think it's also clear that uh, the time of death that they should have been looking for should have been earlier. I think we have a lot of people that say neighbors that said that they didn't see David, they didn't see the Crowleys since before Christmas, and looking at those dates, and now it's like okay, December 19th, December 20th, December 21st. This is early. This is way before Christmas. So it's really strange. Then you have the guy who lived behind David talking about hearing gunshots, three rapid gunshots, which is also another strange thing when we know how many bullets were had to have been fired. And I think that's why some people think that the bullets were not fired there, that the bodies weren't there, the people weren't killed there. So there's many levels of this whole thing, and I don't know what is true. I don't know what is, but I know that it is a known theory, and it's been one of the early popular theories is that David Crowley did not kill himself and staged his death and faked it and all that. And I can understand why people see that. And the police and the authorities, family and friends, they've done a terrible job at helping people see if that's not true. So let's look at some of these comments, see if I missed any here. Sandy Hook. Sandy Hook, once you start looking, yeah, I know. Yeah, that Sandy Hook one was really, really strange there. Angela talks about wondering about the 50K trust withdrawal. Yeah, that's another one that gets kind of overlooked too. The 50K withdrawal, the money, and you know, I don't know too much about that either. The financials and the phone records are really the two next big things that I need to tackle. So, but I spent a lot of time just on the bodies, just on what the police did, what the authorities did, how they handled it, and the neighbors. The financials are very important, and the phone records are very important because they should line up with the phone calls that are mentioned in the 94 pages of police reports. And if they don't, then we know that there's problems there, right? Which some people have brought up that there are some problems there. Okay, let's see. Okay, good. Yeah, Catherine says that talking to Angela that if Angela will be there on Friday, we'll have Dan Hinnon explain the whole financial thing thoroughly in detail. So he's really good at that. He's an accountant. In case you didn't know that, spoiler. So let's see what else. Butterfly Kisses says, I thought that was a hoax as soon as I saw the Parker guy on the news. That alone started getting me to research it. Yeah, and I am hoping that one day we'll do a story on that too. Do a show on that because I'd love to learn more and be skeptical, I guess, and kind of hear these other views and then see where that research leads me. See if I can formulate some type of view. I just haven't had any time to really even come to form any type of view on that. So we'll see what happens there. Um, but the hoax thing does seem like again it's another popular version, and I just want to really break it down or have somebody break it down for me to figure out where that's coming from, why there's so much backlash towards it, and the whole crisis actors. I guess it gets back into the crisis actors and that stuff, and maybe that could be another thing why people believe that David Crowley faked his death. Maybe that's what he was. I don't know. I mean, we could go on and on and on, right? And there's somebody out there who probably just is really mad right now that we're even thinking about that and discussing it and talking about it. But that's what you have to do. You have to talk about it, work it out, work through it, and then see where that leads you. If we're just gonna, go with whatever the most popular thing is or what my best friend thinks is true, that's not going to lead to truth. It's not going to help anybody. It confuses things. It muddies those waters. Dun, 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 dun. What about the lack of Christmas gifts under the tree or located anywhere in the house? Yeah, yeah, that's another thing. So the lack of Christmas gifts, and that kind of would, I could see why authorities would think that, well, the murders had to have happened, this crime had to have happened after Christmas because there is no wrap paper, right? If it happened before Christmas, nobody, they're going to unwrap the presents afterwards. So that was another interesting question. I think that's another good point there too. Now there were Christmas wrapping paper in the basement. They did see that. So okay, let's see. Greg, did the phone they were using? Did anyone get the records? Yeah, Lori, we have the phone records. We have there are 4 phone records, and this is the most important to catalog. We really need somebody to tackle this to catalog in a spreadsheet all of the 4 phone records, the times and the dates of who made what call to what number. There are so many, I know, and so yeah, that's a very important one. But there are 4 phone records that I know of, and those phone records we have all 4 of them, and some of the calls do take place after December 23rd. I think maybe even I forget when the last one was, but I think it was well after December 26th. So those phone records really need to be gone through. They are on my website. I think I've shared them into the group, but in the research document onto my website, there is a research document that has links to all of the different PDFs that we have that you can download right there. So I believe it's under the financial reports. But if you can't find them, or if you need help finding them, I can definitely help you with that. Make sure everybody has access to all of the record. That's why I created just one document, one place where all of the PDFs that I have, all the documents, all the photos, you can get to all of it through this one post that I've written. All right, let's see. I'm trying to catch up on Dan and Catherine's videos. Angela, I'm trying to catch up on them too. There's still some that oh wait, I missed that one. Oh, I didn't see that one. Okay, so I'm with you there. Um, Butterfly Kiss is talking about the Christmas trees, or the fact they had the Christmas trees before this happened. Yeah, the Christmas tree was a fake one. It was one of those plastic Christmas trees, is what it looks like. Maybe one you get at Home Depot, possibly. Dun, dun, dun. So those trees, yeah. You know what's interesting about the tree is there should have been blood, because there was blood on the light switch next to the Christmas tree. A little drop of blood. Actually, more. If you really zoom in, there are you can see multiple drops of blood next to that light switch, which would be on the south wall, where the front window is behind the Christmas tree. There had to have been blood on that Christmas tree as well, maybe even flesh. If the bodies were shot where they were, I would expect some of that at least, but that goes into the low velocity and high velocity, medium velocity of the blood spots that we're seeing, which again, haven't had time to really go deep into, but I think it's something that it is, again, it's one of the better factors to really help us understand what really happened here. Da, 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 da. Oh, Angela says I've only became aware of this in the past months. Oh, you're gonna have a lot. You're about to go down a serious rabbit hole right now, but it's good. Just go wherever it leads you. Let's see. Yeah, it probably does have a lot of questions. I have a lot of questions, and I've been looking into this for like 4 years now, and I still have a ton of questions. So that's gonna be the nature of this case for some reason. I don't know why. So let's see. What else do we have? Oh, you're referring to the Sandy Hook. Okay, yeah, Sandy Hook. That's a crazy one. Um, Angela says I feel that connecting with the 3 videos are a great start. I only watch the Netflix junk to better understand the names and have a mental image. Yeah, I think that's a good point. That's a good point to say is those images, those images. Just yeah, there's some interesting images inside of there. I'll just leave it at that. Let's see. Dun, dun, dun. Got some mental images, but I think it's good to watch the documentary. As much as I crap on it and everything, I understand why people watch it, because you want to get all sides. Real people are gonna watch that. I think these people might be capitalizing on that, knowing that of how much interest there is out there, and so why would they share it to you freely when they could make you pay for it? So this cat, yeah, she does want to go outside. All right, let me get one second. Come on, where you going? Saw her before I did. It's fluffy, it's gray, and it's fat, very fat. Let's see. Yeah, she does want outside. See, the crime scene only shows lifting up one corner of the rug. What about the rest? Any blood staining elsewhere? Interesting. Um, that would, yeah. I thought that there was blood on the. Well, we don't know. I mean, I really don't know because no, we haven't seen that. But those photos should be out there, right? The photos of the floor, because we have the photo afterwards where there's a big cut out of that hardwood floor. Oh, excuse me. There's a big cut out of that hardwood floor, and it's a huge hole. So not a hole, but just a big, huge cut there, and then it's painted white or something like that. So yeah, I'd be curious to see those photos. They have to be out there. It's a good idea. We need to get those photos. We need the photos of the rug removed. Once the rug was removed, we need to know what the rug looked like. All right, I like that. That's a great one. Yeah, there's not a lot of blood except for the writing on the wall. That's really it. It's all confined to this one area, at least the blood that they're talking about, the blood that is mentioned. And so even the, aren't photos public knowledge? Not all of them, apparently. Apparently the ones of the blood, and even of us, we asked for a photo of the gun where it was. And I said, even if the bodies were blurred out, do you think we could get that photo? And it was like, no. Nope. So we're not going to get that as far as I know. You never know. It would be nice to get something more. I'd like to know. I just want a photo of the gun. Obviously, we do need more photos. We do need more photos of where everything was, and where those bodies were, how they were laid out, because it's not really mentioned there. And the bodies are moved, and the gun might have even been moved before the BCA crime scene team got there. The gun was probably already moved for safety reasons, whatever. So hopefully photos, videos were all taken of all of that. Simple things like that are the things that frustrate me the most. Okay, so I have a question. How long does it take to process one body? Good question. You're talking about for the medical examiner? Um, I think all that we know is I think they have the actual times and dates, the times of when they stopped, when the medical examiner began, and then when the autopsy ended. But so I don't know. Catherine might know that more than I do. Catherine said depends on the situation and circumstances. Yeah, I'm sure. How long the bodies were there, all of that. So, but that was something that I tried to note to make sure that we know what time the autopsies were done. Really, what time the medical examiner was informed and was on standby, what time the medical examiner showed up, what time the medical examiner left, and what time the autopsy started. Now, we have all that. I'm not sure if we have when the autopsies ended, though. That would be very interesting. The only way that we might be able to tell from these documents, unless there's an easier way, we might be able to tell by when each one started, because and who was the medical examiner for that one. So for David Crowley, the pathologist was Jessica Lelinski, and I mean that doesn't really. I guess so. She would have had to have been done by a certain time. So we'd have to get those exact times. But I think we can get pretty close to really saying when each one, because Kamel's and Ranya's kind of coincide. There's some overlap between those. I don't believe there is some overlap between those ones and David's, meaning that Kamel's and Ranya's autopsy would have ended before 11:50 a.m. Kamel's began at 8:30, so 8:30 to 11:30, about 2 hours maybe, but it would be good to know as much as possible. It's good to know who was there, what police officers were at each autopsy. All of this stuff is relevant. It's all relevant. So let's see. Anything else here? Dun, dun, dun. It's not bad. It's a Chardonnay from Monterey, 2014. It's really good. It's aged very nice. All right. They don't they take pictures at the morgue? Yeah, they should take pictures at the morgue. And the family, Catherine, does the family get those pictures, the morgue pictures that they, or how far does the family have to request that stuff? Or, I'm wondering if Kate Crowley ever did request that. Let's see. Did they ever take sample of the drains in the tub for blood? No, no, unfortunately not. Unfortunately not. They didn't add that to the list of things that they didn't do. But okay, Catherine says yes, the immediate family can get those. Maybe not all of them, but most. Well, that would be good. That'd be good. One thing that I would like to get is the audio recordings of the people that were interviewed by the Apple Valley Police. All of them. I want the ones where they talk to David's friends. I want the ones where they talk to David's family. I want the ones where they talk to Kamel's sister. I want any of the audio recordings that the police have, or transcript of them. So I can understand them not giving us the audio, but how about a transcript? I think we might have to look into that. I'll add that to my list too. And I know Dan Hinnon has tried this. I believe he's tried this too, but you know, it doesn't hurt to try again. To try again. Keep trying, because you never know. Maybe they'll give us more photos, more documents next time. You just never know. All right. Well, trying to think if I had anything else to cover here. Just been going through. Oh, you know what was really weird? The lady who lived across the street, Anne Marie Hickson. This is from the Apple Valley Police Reports, page 13. And Tara Becker talked to Hickson. Is it Hickson? Let me make sure it's Hickson. Yeah, this is weird. So Hickson said that she noticed that there was a certain light or candle that has come on every day since Christmas. I thought that was weird. You have people who you have lights. Okay, if certain lights would come on, I mean, it must be on a timer. I'm guessing. I'm assuming it's on some type of a timer for that light to come on. But then you have the neighbor who lives behind the Crowleys say that they hadn't seen any activity since the 19th, since December 19th. The other one is not Lorraine Tuppy. One second. Lorraine Shepard? Teresa Shepard. Teresa Shepard, if you look at Apple Valley Police Reports, page 56, Teresa Shepard is another very interesting one. Because she was out of town until December 23rd. So she comes back on December 23rd, and the Crowleys are not home. There's no activity. There's nothing. There were no lights on at the Crowley residence. She believes, let's see. Yeah, Teresa Shepard. Now, Teresa Shepard is the neighbor that noticed that the rear slider was open, quote, shortly after she arrived home from vacation. Shepard did not hear or see anything else unusual at the Crowley residence. So she sees this open. Now, it's also mentioned that she couldn't tell if it was the rear slider that was open or if it was the screen of the rear slider that was open. I don't think there was a screen, right? So, and it says partially open, meaning it, to me, the way that I took that, meaning it was to mean that on December 23rd, Teresa Shepard saw the Crowley rear slider open, partially open, more than just a jar 1/4 inch as it would be later on, meaning sometime between December 23rd and when the bodies were found, that rear slider was possibly open. If the rear slider was open on December 23rd, partially, I don't know. It's written weird. It's written in a weird way, which makes me want to get a transcript of their interview with Teresa Shepard. Now, I would love to get a transcript. You would love to get a transcript. Page 56. We all would. But I don't think I don't think her interview was recorded, if I remember correctly, which was another weird thing. So, let's see. Oh, she also talks about, now Teresa Shepard is one that talks about on January 24th, 2015, there was a lot of activity at the Crowley house. So this is when they were taking stuff out. Probably, I don't know who, but a lot of people, there's a lot of activity. That's all it says, all right? At the residence. And she believes people there were cleaning out the residence at the time. Shepard did not have any other information about what happened. She did not call the police about the door that she had seen ajar. That's another interesting thing. Why would she call the police about a door being ajar that she saw on December 23rd when nothing had happened yet? I don't know. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's nothing. So, I have her residence blacked out here, but I know we can see. She's on Lowell Drive, so she is behind the Crowleys as well. Here's one for you. Here's one for you. All right, let me go through some of the comments. I feel like I'm missing comments, but after that, I want to make sure that I finish off here with Brett Malay. Okay. Oh. Let's see this. Actually, Lori said, I want to know why they never talked to Sidra's dad. Lori, that's actually weird because Detective Gummert told me that he never talked to Sidra's dad. He told Dan Hinnon that he did. And then after I confronted Gummert about that, Detective Gummert said that he did talk to Sidra's dad. So apparently he was in communication with Sidra's dad for a long time. Take that for what you will. Let's see, what's next? Straight out of the trash can says, drove by the house earlier today. I live a few cities over and saw the new family that lives there. Oh, so it is true that the old residents moved out of there. How sad. Yeah, I was looking at the house there. Interesting. All right. Mm-hmm. Butterfly Kisses says, I think I heard the dad didn't want to talk, so Sidra spoke for him. Yeah, I heard that too. I heard a few different things, but again, it all turns out that it wasn't really true. That the government did talk with Sidra's dad. The question is why the big secret, why the lie, the unnecessary lie, and if he would have never got caught in that lie, if we would have never questioned it, who knows? We would probably still all think that Kamel's dad never did talk to Detective Gummer. How many other lies are out there then? How many other fabrications? How, all of that. It's just like if there's one, there could be two. So we'll go with that. Let's see. Melanie, thanks for joining us, Melanie. Thanks for joining us straight out of the trash can. Angela, Butterfly, Lori. Melanie says, just joining in, and the fact is my first time taking part in a live chat. You are discussing the family that was murdered around Christmas time in the home, correct? Yes. Now, I don't know if they were murdered. I don't know when they were murdered, but yes, we are discussing the David Crowley case, and we are trying to understand what happened, why the police lied, why the investigation was done so quickly, why there is still no evidence to prove David Crowley is guilty, and why there's so much resistance for people asking questions and for people trying to find out what really happened. When there's a child involved, when there's a young woman involved, a young man involved, a United States soldier involved. Yeah, it gets real pretty quickly once you start thinking about it. So, Kamel's gravestone, the date is December 25th. It's December 25th. Nobody knows when she died, but it's on the gravestone right there. It's weird. Just another thing. So, anyways, we will. Yes, Friday's gonna be an interesting day. I hope everybody can join us again. I think I'm about ready to wrap up here, unless anybody else has any other questions. I look forward to seeing you all Friday. It's gonna be a really interesting day, and we are going to be back here, not here, but we're going to be on free conference call. I will put the link where you can join in, where you can listen in, where you can participate, where you can contact us by phone and ask questions, share your own views. Uh, we're just going to have a nice, healthy talk, another healthy talk, because we need to find out what happened here. And if we don't, nobody else is going to. If we don't, the story is just going to die, and the truth about what happened here is going to die with it. I'm not willing to let that happen. I know you aren't willing to let that happen. Kamel's tombstone is dated December 25th, 2014. So, and it just says Kamel Russell Alam. I don't even think it says Crowley. I could be wrong. I'm not sure if it says Crowley or not. And I thought that was kind of weird. She's buried in Texas. The date of death. The date of death, yeah. So that's the apparent date of death. I don't know who decided. I guess the parents would decide that. I forget when that picture was taken. I think it was taken in January, possibly. And the theory again is that Kamel's mom did not know about any of this until recently. Meaning all that was there, all that was done. It was if that's true, then um, Kamel's mom was lied to. It was a big cover up. It was a big cover up, and I don't understand that either. A lot of things like that I don't understand unless there was a reason why they didn't want Kamel's mom to know. Maybe Kamel had some family in some very powerful places, and some people that would have been willing to look into it. Maybe they are. Maybe they're out there right now. I believe that there will be family and friends who will eventually help us find out what happened here. So I look forward to seeing you guys all then, all you ladies then, everybody then. I think it's going to be a nice, healthy talk as usual. I would just remind everybody to please mute yourself as much as you possibly can. Talk whenever you want, and we'll go from there. So I appreciate everybody joining us here. I look forward to seeing you all on Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific time. Free conference call. freeconferencecall.com/GregFernandezJr. I'll put up the phone number. I'll put up the link where you can join us. And thanks again.